Hello YouTube, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This time, at the moment, we're midway running a mission to send a colony base out to Minmus. And immediately, I'm noticing something. We have lost signal, so we are going to need a relay. This does indeed need to be about 10 times more powerful to actually be able to contact Kerbin. What we should be able to do here, though, I did realise last time we also forgot some certain experiment modules, which is really annoying. I'm not quite sure how I managed that. I forgot the barometer. I forgot the mystery goo. Which, I mean, come on, how do they even do that? It's like we remembered surface scanners, but we didn't have mystery goo. What was I doing? But we do have some good news. We can run certain experiments like the telescope that's new. We can't actually transmit the data, though. So we'll just add it to the lab. But yes, the plan is to land this on Minmus. Set up surface stations with the equipment we've got stored away in the trunks, I guess. And also to have this act as a bit of a 5-man base. We actually have a contract to launch a base, so... Oh, hang on, what did I actually say? Oh, I didn't see it. And let's clear the experiments and we'll quickly run it and check what it actually said. You open a shutter to see what impact it may have on the plants. Nothing happens immediately, but later on you log that one of them is shriveled and possibly burned. Particularly a sunwood plant. That's not a good sign. Yes, I guess the plants on this side are getting a bit toasty. It's probably radiation from them being, I guess, less shielded. Would be my guess. The one thing that does worry me a tiny bit about this flight is we are a little bit tight on Delta V, more so than I thought. Part of that is probably due to a slight goof on launch where we lost control very briefly. We did recover it, but it would have used a little bit of extra fuel. So if we do it circularize the next periapse, how much is that going to use? 194. We should be okay. I think it only takes about 300 to land on Minmus, so I think that should give us a leeway of about 80, 100 Delta V. So we should be okay for our landing, I believe, at the moment. Additionally, the lab, that's the other thing I meant to do. I should start running. Because we have actually got... Oh, 5 signs a day. Really? That's fast. It's very quick for the lab. And it will increase the more data you have. That's the other thing. The research is faster the more data you have stored. But yes, once we encounter... we have encountered Minmus. We can run the experiments again. I say, once we've encountered Minmus, we can run the experiments again and gain even more data for the lab from orbit. And then land and get even more from the ground. We will also get a transmitter set up before we maybe set that off, because A, our ground station will probably need it, and B, the experiments could also be ran for their normal science gain as well, so we'll want to get that. Also, the sparks are very loud, as you can probably hear. I have to move us away from those because they are noisy engines, especially with 6 of them. Oh, I was wondering what that was. Right, so we do have multiple landing sites. We have a polar one, we have one up there and one there. We'll maybe try to see what biomes we've already landed in and then pick one we haven't. Well, we definitely want to try and pick one we haven't landed in yet. So, landing guidance. Pick target on map. So, where have we been before? We have been... Is that one actually on that side of the planet? Hang on. Get this out of the way. Focus on Minmus. Right. So where have we been before? We have landed on the Great Flats. We have landed on the Flats. We have landed on the Lowlands. If we pick somewhere maybe a tiny bit rougher this time, but still a flat part of it. That's the Lowlands. We could go for the Midlands. Is there a Highlands somewhere? There's a Midlands area there that looks good. That looks reasonably flat. We shall try there. And hope that it doesn't take too much Delta V to get us there. quick save now, and we will not quick save again until we're on the ground, just in case we need to do a bit of a revert and save this. Rather than relying on that working in time, I'm just going to manually deploy. I don't know whether landing wheels or landing legs always fold out like this. I know Kerbal already has a Delta V display, but I trust MechDevs a little bit more, just from force of habit, if anything. Oh, we forgot to do some of our science stuff. Add to the lab. So plant growth. Plants gravitate towards Minmus. How is it possible with Minmus's minuscule gravity? I don't know, but apparently it is. Gravity data. You notice we're getting quite a lot of data actually off of these experiments now. Some of them anyway. Not so much that one perhaps. Observe local space. Yeah. Attempt a long exposure photo to try and detect a coma or a cometary trail. There is one, it's being washed out by Minmus's incredibly reflective surface. Too much light pollution basically off of Minmus. Plus science up to now, 10 a day. Very high. I suppose we have got 3 scientists and they're reasonably high levels, so that's helping. We've already got 2 science and we're not even down yet. Yeah, we probably need to get up to about 550 at least to get our next experiment or next research, which we will very easily do, I'm sure. The other thing I'm going to do with this, I'm going to turn off MechDev's auto warp once we're near the ground because it has screwed us up before. It has actually specifically broken a landing at one point. This craft is a bit tougher. We have larger landing legs and it's wider and flatter, but it is also quite tall. And I'm not sure how flat the surface we're landing on is, so just in case. Oh, we probably could have done with some lights on the underside of the landing, but oh well. Oh yeah, what's our interior look like here? Can we... Actually looks quite nice in there. We'll actually have a proper OVA look in a minute. What it looks like, but it looks like it's quite large. But that's good. While the Kerbals will not technically complain about being inside a can for years upon end, I'd like to at least give them a little bit of room. Again, some stuff like food for the plants. Let's also clean out the experiments on the way down. Oh no, we can't because we're auto warping. But like I say, once we're on the ground, we shall we'll set up the relay network before we do anything else. Then we'll deploy the ground station, do the science experiments that we can just transmit as is, and then we'll convert the rest of the data and leave it to work while we do our next mission. At this point, we'll turn off auto warp. Do not crash us into the ground. Delta V needed to land is about 150. We should, in theory, be plenty fine. My estimates were about right. I'll have to actually pull the Delta V chart up for the next one, probably, because I don't know where we're going yet. I do not know at all where we're going for the next one just yet. Maybe one of the moons for the planets we've been to, maybe a bit further out, like Dres. Maybe a really powerful relay satellite mission launch mission. So we can send stuff out really far and do the Eeloo probe. Because at some point we're going to want to scan Eeloo and find a proper good landing site and everything. We could even maybe set up a refueling base on Dres. Maneuver out to there, refuel, and then go out to Eeloo potentially. I don't know if that actually saves us anything, but it could be fun for our big colony mission. There are also some big tourist missions that we could potentially take on. And a bit of money. Yeah, this is the bit I think where it normally auto warp, and while I would usually be okay with that. EVA view. Oh, that's the pilot. Excellent view. Shame it's looking the wrong way. While I'd normally be okay with that. Again, it crashed us last time, so I'm a little bit like, oh, that's definitely do be a lab. I do see a microscope. And also the light going a bit weird. MechJeb, what are you doing? Okay. It's not hugely flat, but it should be enough that we can land okay. Bit boulders here. Alright, we are actually nice and stable. Yeah, okay. Excellent. I think that's partly because it's got all the weight at the bottom and partly the landing legs being nice and wide, so I'm glad we did not go for a narrow design. Let's accelerate to daytime. That should also... has a docking port. Has a docking port. It was so close. Ah! We might be able to attach one. If we sent an automatic resupply with the... Okay. We are not giving up on this yet. What we're going to do... From cleaning experiments. Right. We are going to send a secondary lander, and that lander is going to have a docking port that we could refit onto this craft. We have engineers. That should be doable. Or at least I believe we have at least one engineer. Yes, we have Frotop. Frotop, you're going to have to save this mission. But we need to send something out there anyway. So we'll send a two-part ship out to Minmus to fix this problem. One half will be a high-power relay to basically gain data that will sit in polar orbit. The other half will be a small lander that will land at the same location. So... Vehicle assembly. Occasionally this sort of thing happens. It is using a bit of money, but again, with the Space Hotel up, money's not too much of an object at the moment. So we can afford to spend out a bit to make these things work. So, the relay satellite. Be reasonably simple. We'll do one of those. We will have a... So we do have this kind of interesting looking relay. The problem is the form factor is not great. Phased relay antenna? Oh, that's just like a flat... Is that just like a flat panel? Does that even move? There's a large amount of data at a very fast rate if you have the power to do so. Oh, okay. That's not really necessarily what we need. We just need something to be able to talk to ground. GM. We could do two of those like we've done before. They have worked. We don't need that much. We need... Okay, well, we'll do one of those. That'll do. And we'll do two on the antennas, so we can also... This will definitely be enough to be able to talk to the ground station. Plenty of power. See, maybe a battery that looks... There you go. Looks the right size for it. We'll do two of those. It should look like that. Yeah, that looks nice. The actual power output of this thing is not too critical. This will be... we're adding this to the Space Colony, so this will be part 2 of the Space Colony. This will be SCO2. Relay and resupply. In theory, if we make this semi-generic, instead of just necessarily just the rescue sort of thing for this craft, this could be used on future missions. This could be used as a sort of like, oh, you know, you send out one of them and you send the other. Or maybe even dot the two together in future. But anyway, so... One of those. That look right? No, it clips into the thing. One day I'll find a use for those tanks. They look really nice, but I always struggle actually finding a situation in which they're the right thing to use. Those look okay, though. Can we put a little spark in the middle? Yeah, 1,500. That should be fine. So that will do for that section. Going into yeah, we can change what it's made of. Now, so that to gold, and we'll make this gold as well. Yeah, there we go. Don't think we can change the colour on that. Change the mount. Yeah, you know what? Square mount looks okay on that. Right. Next, we need the decoupler. Small one, please. What's that? Oh, universal storage decoupler. Huh. Anyway. That's looking a little bit collidey, but okay. Oh, we're going to have to move these, aren't we? Right. Go in there. Tell you what, we'll shift these. Put those there. I do want those tanks. There we go. Okay. Right. And underneath that, we will attach the next section, which will be this will be our little. This will need to be a little surface lander. It needs to be quite stable, as we know, because we know the surface is not very flat around there. In fact, what we might even do is there is one that's small to larger, isn't there? Somewhere an adapter. Yeah, it's a bit like that, not that one. That one. Although we might need a quite a little fuel tank up top, so we're not wasting the space. Oscar B. Yeah, that'll do. Let's make that bare metal, because this does not need to be insulated or anything. We'll do a fuel tank. Wherever the... I'm looking in the wrong place. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's wider than that. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't need a huge amount. Yeah, I think we could even detach a docking port from the side of it, but we'll try and pack one up into a cargo bay if we can. I don't know that we have one in the right form factor, though, is the only thing. What we could do is a... That is the wrong button. You guys get the occasional look at my desktop, because I keep hitting the wrong button. Oh, crikey. Sorry about this cough. I don't know if it's just from talking a lot from recording. There we go. Open. Where is the door? Over there. Okay. If we can fit a docking port in there, we'll do that. If not... Okay, we might be able to fit a Clampetron Junior, and that might actually count. Okay, the regular one is too big. What about a Junior? We can just about fit a Junior in there. Hopefully that will count. But yeah, that'll be our generic sending up more useful stuff bay. Oh, you know what we could do? We're missing science experiments. We're missing a barometer and a mystery goo. We could nearly fit them both in there. Do we have a different mystery goo? I don't think we do. Tell you what. To test whether we could also just detach parts from another craft of an engineer, we will just attach a mystery goo in there, and we could also potentially try bolting the crafts together. So I'll add a strut. I'll add a few struts just in case. What else are we going to do? Well, we want solar panels on it. Let's add some solar panel array. That should be fine. To get it down. A little bit of power. It's going to have to be drone controlled is the other thing I've realised. It's going to need its own control system. Actually, we do want it solid. Antenna. It'll be able to use the relay to communicate on its own, so it does have a way of talking to things. We will need engines to land it. And to get it there, it probably wants a bit more, maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe a pug. Yeah, and then if we give it a core that also has some RCS torque in it. SAS torque even, I should say. Not that one. We might have to actually attach some wheels to it. But yeah, if we give it a nice lightweight pug, that should be efficient. And that should be... Okay. So that should be about enough to land. Let's put some legs on it. Have micro struts. It does not need heavyweight landing legs. How does that actually look? Are they on the doors? No, they're just about off. Oh yeah, especially if the doors open like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah, as long as it lands gently, that should be okay. So... we'll leave those as metal. Right. I think that is our... Yeah, white looks better. That one. So that is our resupply unit. Oh, that was the thing I was going to check for cargo. Was there like a toolkit you needed to engineer things, or is that might be from another mod? Okay. So, that's what's going to get us there in theory and resupply our base. It's a little goofy looking, but it should work. Now we just need to get it to Minmus in the first place. So we'll give this a little extra delta V as a bit of leeway. So we'll put this in a 1... no, it probably was 2, right? 2.5 meter shell, yeah. Oh, is it actually thin enough that it can just go straight up? Up to a point. I think it needs to go out to extend past the antennas. That's fine. I think it's going to have to go past those fuel tanks anyway. Ah dear. Right. No. Oh yeah, right. 2.5. Or 2. Yeah, 2.5. Which I think it's not that big for rockets in real life. Even though it's fairly standard for a lot of Kerbal stuff. Right. 3K, and then we'll just have a solid rocket booster on the bottom. That should be fine. Decoupler. No, we need a larger diameter one than that. Which I thought we did have. No? Clydesdale? That'll do it. That is too much, if anything. Right. I would like this to be nice and cheap, this bottom stage. Let's have a... Oh, we have an engine plate, don't we? We have engine plates, even. What are they under? Payload, right? Yeah. I think. No. What am I doing? There we go. Engine plate. Fuel plate on one or more engines. Still boat tail to affect first stage engines or several lengths of shroud. Oh! Includes decoupler? Did I say? Includes decoupler for use of upper stages. Alright. We'll see what this shroud does anyway when we start putting engines on. So, what we'll basically just do is use this to put a few something like dumpers on it. Try a triple setup. And then 4, yeah, that should be enough. Get it off the ground, get it going. We will bolt these together. We'll set all the decoupler things to go on the same stage because I don't quite know how these work yet. These engine plates, I know of them. But as far as I was aware, they were just solid plates. I didn't realise they had decouplers on them at all. So, don't quite know how that works yet. We'll see. Some of those. Let's bolt that into there, I think that's worked. Let's take that. Right. Launch stabilizers. Stability enhancers, that's the one. Okay. So, first stage, fires those. Then run those two at once. Engine. Shroud. Engine again. Okay. I think this is right. Oh. No. 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 Passive antenna, so we don't lose control like we've had so many times in this space program. Do you have your own batteries? Yes. Okay. You have your own batteries. I think we're okay now. Man, there's so much you can forget. List of things to forget is almost as big as the list of things you gotta try to remember. Pretty much. Right. Loading. I think, what was this, episode 2? Yeah, I suppose this is the second part of this one. Yes, all this, of course, is to go towards our ultimate goal of the Eeloo colony. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. And of course, this Minmus colony is acting as a little bit of a miniature version of the mission, which is why I'm willing to invest quite a bit of resources into it. Partly that, and also because of the science gain, should be quite substantial, actually. But yeah, so hopefully our goal for this mission, to sort of reiterate and summarise now that we're actually launching, go to Minmus, separate the two crafts, the resupply and the relay. The relay should park in a high polar orbit. Then the landing craft will resupply the surface base and allow them to hopefully attach the docking port to the thing and complete the contract we took. Because the one bit we were missing, I believe, was a docking port. Antenna, docking port, and generate power. Yeah, we've got everything. The outpost must be fully assembled when locked. We'll try it. We might not be able to. We may have to do it again. Or cancel the contract, but... Or, actually, what I might even do... I might cheat. Because it's like... Why would it matter if the outpost was fully assembled on launched? We got the colony there with a docking port attached. So what I might even do is just word it out as it's like, no, I didn't. It's like, yeah, we didn't attach the docking port at first, but we had the tools. We can cut it out and put that docking port to it, kind of thing. Or we built it with this in mind as a test run, kind of thing, or something. Because that's a really arbitrary reason to fail a contract. I would say it's like, well, it can do the thing you wanted it to. Yeah, it's a little bit late, but you didn't charge us for it. We're the ones that put the funds out for it. To actually build the thing, you didn't have to pay for 2 launches rather than just 1. So we'll maybe go with that and just cheat to complete the contract. But we'll see how it goes. It might even just succeed automatically. We also want to attach the science systems to it. Got the barometer and hopefully the mystery goo that we can hopefully detach and attach to it. Or we could try bolting the 2 craft together with struts once they're in place and near each other. That's the other thing. We're going to have to land really near it. Or at least near enough that it's not too much of a trek to go out and get the other stuff. Get the new bits we delivered. What we should be able to do is put in the same coordinates. And then hopefully, from past experience, it's not quite precise enough to land you on top of it normally. But it should land you very close. Let's extend that antenna so we're not poking a hole in the solar panel on the upper stage. I do actually appreciate Scanset as well, because it is actually giving us a lot more uses for power, because the antennas use up a bit more passively, and having enough of them in the right place is important. Oh, you can auto warp again, Mac Deb, it's fine. It's just the landings we're a bit iffy about. And we will allow auto stage up to stage 2, but no further, because we need that stage to be where it's supposed to be. Because we've got to separate the 2 once they get there. Yeah, the lander might have to do a little bit of extra work pushing itself out to Minmus. But the trick is, once it's detached to the satellite, it will gain a bunch of Delta V because it's not carrying the weight of a whole extra craft on top of it. So the landing should be easier, and the landing does not use much fuel anyway. This may end up being a 3-part mission at this rate. We're nearly at the end of this episode, but hey ho, if it happens, it happens. Right. Minmus. Oh yeah, there is an unknown. Saw it for a moment there, yeah. It vanished already. There was like an asteroid marker for a half a second. Yes, we've got the... I was about to say, hang on a minute. We have definitely got the range to do this, haven't we? We do, however, need to target something. Help if we actually switched it on, wouldn't it? Okay, I guess we'll relay from the hotel. If that's what works. And I hope we have a signal. We'll maybe change it to one of the relays. Not advanced transfer, Homan transfer. Hoffman transfer? Homan? I do not know. It's another one that might go slightly wrong because it'll have to stage midway. And if we lose signal, we can always point one of the other, I'd say point one of the relays at it, and then we should gain it again. We probably could do with another, like a super relay that's in really high orbit, talks to the transmit network from polar orbit, so it can nearly always, in theory, always reach them, and has a bunch of separate antennas, so it can communicate with multiple craft at once. Ah, power's run out. That's fine, we're not at the... It's fine, we're not at the node execution point yet. Oh, I think because it was trying to adjust. at the point where it ran out of power. Which is potentially going to be a problem if we're going to run out of power before a maneuver, although if that's it there, then I guess we're okay. And that's in daylight. Patchy signals do seem to be an issue we're running into at the moment. It's on and off anyway. However, that is the end of today's episode on the technical level. So we'll pause it here. And we'll see how this maneuver node goes quickly, and then we'll finish up there. I do make videos. I do make games as well as videos. So if you want to support the channel, or say go check out the link in the description, you'll see the games I've made. I've done playthroughs on both, or in the case of Sel Quinta, I'm doing playthroughs on one of them. So go check them out. You might enjoy, and all the usual comment, like, subscribe stuff. It's very helpful. It's greatly appreciated, and I do read them all. The channel is not big enough that that's unfeasible. I read everything, and it's interesting to see some of the things you guys tell me. It has actually been quite helpful. Someone even pointed out the skimming on the takeoff with our slightly awkward moon mission from a little while back was probably why we lost signal for a moment, kind of thing. Not signal, why we couldn't see the maneuver line? Orbital path, that's the word. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all again next time. Bye-bye.